Hi, my name is Joey, and this is my vlog about mental health, Phoenix, #risingfromtheashes. It follows my life as I share stories and observations about dealing with anxiety, depression, executive dysfunction that comes along with it, and etc. So today I'm in honor of not waiting a whole month to do another video. I've decided to do it in a different place today. I'm doing it in the car. Mainly because there's no area in my house that is like neat enough, in my opinion, to sit down and do a video. So there you go. That's your executive dysfunction of the day. It's annoying, but here we are. Like I said, I'm not waiting a whole month to do another video because I actually do have things I'd like to talk about. I'm actually full of piss and vinegar this morning, this afternoon actually, where I am right now. But I'm a little angry a bit about stuff. I guess I'm always a little angry about stuff. I try to be a positive person, but no, I get very pissy and like angry sometimes about things because well, to sound very privileged and superficial, things don't always go my way and it pisses me off. That's number one. Number two, it's funny because like there's always talk in mental health about accepting your diagnosis, accepting your limitations, accepting your mental status, basically. And anything in NAMI that involves telling your story, always I feel like it kind of centers around that acceptance, that it's just so important to accept, and I understand that. I really do. But I have a hard time with it. Like, there's a lot about my diagnosis, if you will, which is anxiety, depression, bipolar 1, I believe, is in the official capacity. But beyond that, I think I've always had ADHD sort of tendencies and mannerisms since I was a very young child, and I think it was just I either masked it so well or it just was not. It was people were ignorant about those things, like when I was a kid, 1980s, what have you, 90s. People were ignorant about those things. So and I still think people are ignorant about those things. Like it's honestly not that much better. Like, people are better about it, but the ones that are still ignorant are really just have their heads like just shoved right up their asses. They're just right up there. And it pisses me off. As I was saying, getting off on that, as I was saying, I do not do well with acceptance, even though it's very talked about and very important. And I have a hard time with my limitations, which are many, unfortunately. And as the years go on, they're getting more. As you get older, your body has its own limitations physically, so that's working against you as well. And I think the mental angle of it just doesn't. It's unless you like really actively work at it, and I feel like I do actively work at it. I could do better. I could always do better, I feel like, because I'm always like down on myself about not doing enough, but I could always do better. But I do what I can so as to not burn myself out, because it's important not to do that too, because often I do that in terms of trying to be accepting of myself, but also not really want to let limitations hold me back, it just doesn't work for me. It wouldn't work, would it? Trying to accept things, but also go against them at the same time. I know, it doesn't make any sense. I never said mental illness made sense, did I, though? You know what I learned recently, this week? I learned that you can be too crazy to be seen by certain psychiatrists. Yes, I jumped through the hoops of this one psychiatrist's office. And by hoops, I mean I went on their online portal, registered, put all my forms in, did all my thing, you know, and they don't acknowledge that you get these things, that they get these things in the email. They don't. I had to email them and say, please let me know if you got my forms, because they say, well, we'll get your forms, but it might take 7 to 10 working days before we make a decision about whether or not we'll see you or call you to make an appointment or whatever. So I was like, I'm not waiting 7 to 10 working days. I'm going to know right now if you got my thing. You know, I don't want to like just wait around. Maybe they got it. I don't know. They might have. I mean, I didn't expect an answer early. I just wanted to know that they got the information. So they got the information, but the doctor that I had to choose a doctor from their firm. I couldn't just be like, oh, well, put me with any female doctor that is appropriate. I had to choose one. So fine. So I chose one. She says, because of the medications that I take, I need to seek out a psychiatrist that has hospital privileges because of the extreme medication that I take or whatever. I don't remember the wording that was used. But whatever it was, my ass goes, okay, so I'm too crazy for you to be seeing me. That's the thing. I didn't know that was a thing. That's great. That makes me feel wonderful. Just wonderful. You want me to have a doctor with hospital privileges because you think I'm going to go off the rails and I need to have some special doctor that can, like, what does that even fucking mean, dude? What the fuck? So, yeah, so I was pretty good and pissed about that for like several days. And now I've kind of calmed down a bit about it, but I'm still insulted. And people will say, oh, you're too insulted by things. Yeah, I know I am. It's this thing called rejection sensitivity. I think there might be a dysphoria on the end of that. You know, usually they add that in for good measure, but I'm not sure if that's an ADHD thing or if it's a mental illness thing or like what kind of thing it is. But I've heard it talked about in terms of ADHD, and it's just basically that people, when they get rejected, are just so much more affected by it than your average neurotypical person. Your average person will just, you know, let that roll off their back and go on. But if you have this rejection sensitivity syndrome, something or other, then, you know, it really affects you when you're rejected. And in my mind, that's where my extreme reaction came from, because I was very extremely reacted to that. That pissed me off. I didn't know it was possible for a doctor to be like, I can't see you. You're too much to handle. I don't know if that's what she was saying or not, but that's how I took it. Like my mother says, it's my mentality. Anytime I ever try to tell my mother about anything that she says that hurts my feelings, she just tells me it's my mentality. Well, you just have that mentality. And I'm like, was that rejection sensitivity? I don't know what the fuck. But I have that mentality that I just take everything to heart, I guess. So because I have that mentality in my mom's mind, it makes me flawed. And because I'm flawed, she doesn't have to really think about the things that she says as in terms of hurting my feelings. She just writes it off as my mentality, my mental health, my mental illness, my mental whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that pisses me off too. But what am I going to do? So that's where I'm at right now. I'm a little angry. A little angry person. And I guess I just wanted to get this off my chest and put it on my channel that no one ever watches. Well, I know one person that watches it, and I appreciate her very much, but nobody else watches it. I feel bad saying these things about my mother on this channel because I know anybody that knows us, you know, knows my mother as much as they know me, better than they know me, I should hope. Although, with judging by all the things that she tells people, which is everything, they all probably know me pretty well. But in terms of that, oh shoot, this happens all the time. I lose my train of thought. One moment. Okay, as I was saying, in terms of my channel and the fact that I talk, what I'd say is I talk shit about my mother, which is not nice, but because I do that, I feel like anybody who knows us will see this if they cared enough to watch it. They would see it and they would consider that I'm an asshole for saying these things about my mother, because nobody would see that side of my mother or even think about her in terms of like that she's, you know, a bit of a narcissist and a bit, you know, kind of low-key nasty a little bit sometimes. And like I said, I'm sensitive to things, very sensitive to things. And so I don't know most of the time whether or not it's my oversensitivity or if she really is kind of being not really that nice. It's very confusing for me a lot of the time. I don't know. But I do know that if anybody saw this that knows me and knows my mom, they would not be on my side in the terms of that. They would be like, how can you say such terrible things? You're a terrible person. But like I said, nobody watches this, so, you know, it's not a big deal, I guess. But if anybody ever did watch it, you know. But this is how I feel. I really do feel this way. I really do feel like fed up with it. And I identify where it's hurting me in my life in terms of moving on and being like a fucking grown-up person, at least in the eyes of people. I don't know if that's possible. It says as she looks at the troll stickers in the car. I don't know if that's possible, but, you know, I'd at least like my mother to see me that way. I'd at least like that much respect, but I don't feel like I have that. I know. It's a high-end problem. I agree, but it's still a problem, nonetheless. And this is where I'm going to end this right now. This is where I'm going to cut this off because, yeah, that's actually what I wanted to talk about, and I got it all out. So there we go. That's what the whole point is, right? Right. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I put more videos out, which hopefully will be in shorter amounts of time between them, but I don't know. No guarantees there. But thank you for watching.